Welcome back. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Indeed, this is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Thank you so much for joining us. And so far, we've been talking about addiction. I'm asking, why are drugs so hard to quit? What are you addicted to? We're looking at our lives and literally introspecting and wondering and searching for those things we're addicted to. And just, we're owning up to our deeds literally on the show today. And so far, you've called in to share your thoughts. Some of you say you're addicted to social media. Some of you say you're addicted to gari. Some of you say you're addicted to coffee. Some of you say you're addicted to so many things. Da 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 da. And I'm sure that this is it sounds, when someone says they're addicted to gari, it might sound cool and funny. But guys, it's not funny when you can't actually do without it. Until the doctor now diagnoses you and tell you that you have too much, how do you say, maybe you have too much carbohydrates in your body. But what does gari contain now, ladies and gentlemen? So until it becomes a problem, then you start to see that I'm actually addicted to it. How can I be saved from this? And I want to remind you are not the only one going through this. Even your people up there, your people leaders, some of them are hiding what their addiction is. Even if Timaya did not come out and tell you that he was addicted to this drug substance just recently and trying to survive, you would never know what people are actually addicted to. And today I'm encouraging you to actually open up on what you're addicted to. Let's find a way to see how we can actually solve this problem, how we can break this addiction, how we can overcome this addiction, especially when it's starting to pose a problem to you. I can see your calls coming in. You guys really want to talk today, but that's no problem. I'm going to pick your calls very soon, but I have to introduce my special guest for today. My special guest is an Afro gospel artist, a songwriter, and she's always bringing the inspiration of hope. When I was reading her bio, I just kept seeing hope, hope, hope. And I want to say, Auntie, at this point, your name should be called Hope, because this is your name that you gave me that you say is Mercy. It's not Mercy. Your name should be Hope. She has released quite a number of songs like No Be By Power, Canker Worm, and hopefully you're going to play one of those songs when we go on the break again. She participated in Nigerian Idol and the Gospel Icons Africa. She's an artist, a songwriter, and somebody who, for some reason, lost herself into the use of illicit substances or drugs. So this is somebody who has actually experienced addiction, fell into it, the thing soaked her in, and then she found a way to actually come out from the deep waters of addiction. And today she's going to be speaking a message of hope and telling us and reminding us how to walk away from addiction and solve this problem in our lives, especially when it starts to pose mental and physical damage to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm right here in the studio with my special guest in the studio, Isioma Mercy Charles. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, such a lovely voice. Hi, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
This is such a bold step for you, because usually when people, when you have artists and entertainers, they always don't want to open up about their personal life or their personal struggles because they don't want to be judged or stigmatized by it. But here you are sharing your message strongly, boldly, and hopeful about it, and I want to appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you so much.
What inspires you to come out as an entertainer?
Because I came out because I want a lot of people that are going through the same struggle that I have been through, to find like I said, message of hope, to find if I can do it, so can you.
Interesting. So there's something I've also, when I was doing my research, I noticed that artists and drugs is like 5 and 6.
I was there.
Why?
So I know what you're talking about. Because a lot of them think they can only get inspiration from taking drugs, especially weed.
But is it true that you get inspiration from taking drugs?
You get inspiration from taking drugs, but it depends on the kind of songs you want to bring out. You understand? Because when you start depending on a drug for inspiration, you'll be hooked on that. But the inspiration I get from, I'm a gospel artist now. Right now I get my inspiration from God. I'm so deep in the Holy Spirit that I get.
God is your addiction now.
God is my addiction now, and getting inspiration from it gets to a point where you will not be able to get that inspiration anymore. Yes, because when you abuse, imagine you're always going to something for like, let's say, sleeping pill. You're always taking sleeping pill to sleep. It gets to a point you will not be be able to sleep even with the sleeping pills. Your body gets too used to it, you will not be able to sleep again, even with the sleeping pills.
Wow, that's a good example. And again, some of you are addicted to sleeping pills. I didn't even mention that. So how did you discover? So you used to do secular music,
Yes,
before
yes.
you have always been an artist,
Mm-hmm.
fast forward. But now, here you are. How did you discover? First, what made you go into the addiction? What was the cause? What were you looking for? Were you looking for inspiration? Or were you depressed that you never blow? Why do I keep saying you never blow? Maybe self you don't even blow self. Or were you looking for more? Was it money?
I think it was depression. I chopped plenty breakfast that period, and so
Right.
many disappointments, and a lot of people stole my money.
Hey.
And I started using drugs as a way of escaping my reality, something to just escape, to relieve the pain, the psychological pain, the emotional pain I felt at that moment. And I got hooked because, let me tell you something, when you take something to relieve pain, and you don't really deal with the emotions, the cause of the pain will always come back, because it's just a temporary thing. And when it clears off from your eye, it comes back times 2. And then you want to escape the reality again. That's how addiction is bettered.
Yeah, okay, but that sounds. I say you made it. You make it sound very plain and simple and all that. But if I know that something takes away something and I go back to it, but maybe the question I want to ask is this: people when people run to drugs, for soccer, like just for escape, when they run to it, they know what they're getting into.
Yes,
usually.
of course.
Why? So why did they go into it?
Like I tell you, it's the relief they get from it. The relief, the trips. You understand? There are different drugs for different trips. By the way,
trips. What do you mean? Like highness.
The highness, the trips.
Sorry.
Yeah, like there are different drugs for different trips. You understand? There is so it is what they get from it. You understand? I will not lie you. Taking drugs, and to people who take drugs, because I was there, you will never know that it's something, it will kill you. At that moment, you just want something that will just make you happy. At that moment, you're not thinking, there's nothing else that matters at that moment. You understand? I say drug addiction is I call it a spirit. At the same time, I call it a mental sickness, a mental problem. Because imagine using your money to buy something that kills you and you can't stop it, and you keep taking it over and over again. It takes number one, it takes determination and the will of God to quit drugs.
There's something you were saying before we came on, that you said, if you are not interested, you can't use. If you are like
I say people cannot influence you to take drugs if you don't want to take it. There's nobody that will influence you to take drugs if you don't want to take it. So
there must be, on a scale of 1 to 10, there must be that interest, or maybe
you must have you must have like 4 self. You understand, percent, and then this other person will not add 2 or 3, and then you find yourself taking drugs.
This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. You can now call in on 0705-993-6937. I'm still with my special guest in the house, artist, songwriter, Isioma Mercy Childs, drug abuse survivor, or addiction, should I say, survivor. And I love that she's, putting a message of hope out there and actually helping us find a way to actually overcome addiction. So feel free, if you have thoughts and questions and opinions, feel free to join the conversation, calling on 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. Other things that are not drugs, like addicted to sex, someone said they're addicted to gari, someone said they're addicted to coffee, all those other things. Can the addiction be as bad as drugs too, or is drug on another level?
Addiction is the same, can be described as the same thing as slavery.
Before you continue, please, let's take a caller. Hello. Hi, thanks for calling. Yeah, good to have you on the show.
Yeah. You are talking about drugs or something like that. The girl mentioned something that something like that, like drugs like this. You need the drug that will give you inspiration to do or something like that. I just ask. Or is there any way that are you getting if you don't use that drugs or something like that, you can't get inspiration?
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to ask the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Lawale, thank you so much for calling. All right. So I think that's one question that we've all always had in our mind, because we see a lot of artists boldly, taking these things, and you're like, oh, you said, oh, you do it for the chips.
They think I think because it's a mental problem, they think the drug gives them inspiration, so they depend on the drug. Look at me, I'm not taking drugs and I'm getting more music, even better music than I used to when I was taking drugs. You understand? So you think, oh, it's a mental problem. You think, oh, this without this thing I cannot do, without this thing I cannot get inspiration.
Yes.
Oh, I am taking this thing because of inspiration. But to be honest, the inspiration is inside you. You just need to tap. You need to find it. You understand? That's where rehabilitation comes in. You understand? I went to rehab. Rehabilitation helped me define who I really am inside.
How long were you there for, though?
I was there for 2 months, and it helped me a lot. There are not many rehabs in Nigeria, by the way, which we need to really look into. But it helped me. I was in a place where I had myself. I got to find out who I really am, and the inspiration came. That's where I wrote that song, Kanka One. You understand? The inspiration came, and without drugs, I did it.
So the inspiration is always there. It's now a question of if you feel you can pull it out by yourself without the help or aid of drugs.
Some people are just too lazy to find it. You understand? They just want it fast. Oh, let's take drugs, and then
that makes a lot of sense. Now the question before we took that call, so I was talking about the other kind of addictions that are not like drug, and you were trying to help us understand, oh, is drug on another level, or is addicted to being coffee, for example, sex, food, and all. Are they that bad?
Yeah, I like I wrote this thing down. I want to just read it to you. Addiction is an inability to stop using a substance or engaging in a behavior or thought, even though it may cause psychological or physical harm. It's just something that you cannot stop doing, something that you're a slave to. You know what it means to lose control? That's a slave to this particular thing. It can be a behavior. You can be addicted to picking your nose. You can be addicted to so many things, but the addiction itself is something that you cannot stop.
Even if you are seeing the effects of it happening and people are complaining about it, you just cannot stop it.
You cannot just stop. You just have no control over it.
Hey, Chineke.
It's a sick until we start seeing addiction as a problem in Nigeria. We can never find a solution.
So you think we don't see it as a problem yet?
A lot of people, some addicts are being arrested instead of sending them to rehab.
That's really deep.
Like a policeman
so
catch
we condemn them literally
yes.
instead of helping them.
Yes, they need help. This is a mental problem. We need an organization where
I like that you say it's a mental problem, but the truth is that anytime we see people that are addicted or that they cannot help themselves, we in the society, we kind of like judge them. And I'm not saying we judge them from a place of evil or badness. We judge them based on nobody you use your hand take one. Two, we judge them based on the moral perspective. That you know that you are getting what do you expect to go, you know what you're getting into.
Yes.
You get. So I'm just speaking for the society as per in as much as maybe condemning them might have been wrong, but there's this thing that they say, oh, you should be that you use one, they use your person hand to smoke am for you.
Like I told you,
what's your response to that?
Like I told you from the beginning, I said it's a mental problem. Imagine using your money to buy something that kills you.
But you see, it's a mental problem. Before it became a mental problem, it started with an action, right? It started with I buy, I take, right?
Yeah.
That time the mental never started. You are still okay.
Let me tell you something. Waiting will make you as you did now. I tell you, the first thing that starts this thing is depression. I did sad. I did find something to escape my reality. So I go buy something that would help me escape, that I thought or I think will help me escape. And then I took it the first time. It helped me at that moment. And then the next day I feel, oh, this thing don't come out from my eye, I'm sober. But I'm still having these same thoughts. Oh, let me escape again. That's where you get hooked on this addiction thing. Then it becomes let me keep taking.
Interesting. How can we be kinder to people who are addicted?
I didn't receive enough, a lot. Let me say, I got to a point where I started getting the kindness I really needed.
And it
you know,
helped.
and it helped. When you see somebody that is addicted, the first thing can I say, pray for them. You understand? Because it's most people who are taking drugs. Like, I remember I was addicted for 5 years. I wasted 5 years of my life. But for the last 1 year, I was trying to come out. I wanted to be free from this thing, but it was a struggle. I couldn't. You understand?
So what was so sorry? I just want to get into your space, for example. So when maybe you don't take the drug that you're addicted to, what happens to your body? What happens to you?
I get really uncomfortable. I'll be shaking. Sometimes I won't be able to function, do anything. I was so dependent on that drug. I was taking every drugs that I see. You understand? The only thing I did not take was needle. You understand? So, but I took everything. So I was really, 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 really. I was.
We're gone. Literally.
I don't want to
cry. Aww, please.
Because it's actually. I wasn't proud of those times. And it takes a lot of courage to actually come out and say
and talk about
it. And so far I've been able to get people out. I'm helping people come out of addiction. That's my goal. That is my dream. That is my mission right now. And I hope we start seeing it as a problem. I hope we will be kinder to people who are taking drugs. Like when I see people on the streets, like all those are people smoking, I'll be like, God, I wish. Have you tried and just speak to one of them, and you see some people who are educated and lost in drugs? We are losing Nigeria. 80% of Nigerian youths these days are taking drugs. What are we going to do about it? These are the leaders of today, not tomorrow, because today has already started. What are we going to do about it? We need to do something. Wake up, Nigeria.
Well said. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Please do want to join the conversation. You have thoughts and questions. You have just something to say. Thankfully, we have somebody who's a survivor here and just speaking up. And if you're struggling with something, you have questions and thoughts, please do also call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. We have a caller. I'm feeling quite emotional now. I hope I don't cry myself. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Okay, good to have you on the show.
He made mention of something that no solution or something like that. Yeah, he's not trying to say we should be talking to them or something like that. Something that person have already addicted to. Or they need to be one, or you go and lock them one place for fasting and prayer or something like that.
Okay, all right.
What can we do? What is the solution?
Okay, cool. All right.
Cool.
Thank you so much for that. So, like we said earlier, we condemn drug abuse and even the abuse or the addicts. So thank you for that. We condemn them a lot. We're not kind to them. We say it's their fault, and now we're saying we should be kinder to them. In fact, some people won't take them to church or to religious places and start to bind them with broom
and beat them.
Beat them.
So we need to educate our people about these things too.
Okay.
Because drug addicts, what they need is rehab. We have hospitals for that. Rehabilitation centers are places you take people who are mentally unstable and people who are addicted to drugs too. And there's a hospital. It's a hospital, like a home for them. We take them to rehabilitation. Even when I walked into my church, let me give you a scenario. Like I walked into my church as a drug addict, and I told my pastor, I said, see, I have drug problem. He didn't start binding and casting the demon out of me. He sent me to a rehab. You understand? So we need to educate churches. We need to tell them these people they need help, and this is the kind of help they need. When you go to those hospitals, they give you drugs to help you with your urge, help you flush your system, all those things, they help. and they give you books, they educate you, you speak to therapists, you talk to psychologists, you have all those things there. You need all those things to heal,
to survive it.
Yes.
All right, let's take another call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Yeah, please, I have a problem because I see this addiction of a thing is a very big problem. If you don't discover it as a problem, you will thought it's just a lifestyle. It's not. My own addiction is becoming a problem to me, and even sometimes when I see that, I ask myself a question: how did I get into this, and how will I come out from it? I'm addicted to sex, and it's becoming a problem to me. A very big problem. I can't just feel as in without thinking about it. Even when I have it, I
want more.
Feel like to have it on and on.
Wow.
It will become a problem to my partner. We fight again, we fight the battle. I will lie you. I just ask by how can I control myself from this problem.
Interesting. How bad does it get? How often do you crave for sex in a day, for example?
My dear, I have no limit.
No limits.
No limit. As long as my body comes on, go on.
You can go on and on.
I have urge for it.
Wow. And how's your partner reacting to this?
Sorry?
How is your partner reacting to this?
She's not finding it funny. She's not finding it funny.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's hope that you listen and our guests would have a solution for you.
Okay.
I appreciate. Oh, I love when people open up. It might sound funny, but it's not funny. Especially when you have to deal with your private part. You can't imagine you're at workplace, you're honey, you're in church. You still need to be concentrating on the message. You are seeing pastor's wife in another, light. So yeah.
See, okay. Let me use an example. While I was in the rehabilitation center, where this rehab, can I mention the name?
Go on.
Okay, it's called Adicare Rehabilitation Center, and they treat all kind of addiction. There are like one person there that was addicted to pickpocketing.
Pickpocketing.
Yes, the guy was always stealing people's things, and there is one guy there that was addicted to sex, and his own case was really, it was really serious because the guy would just pass and just whisper some kind of things in my ear when we have that general meeting, when we have gathering that we have to talk
just
about.
Say something naughty.
He would just say something, and he was doing it to the male. I don't know. He was doing it to the male
people there too.
I'm telling you. So the guy had no control, but I heard now that he's doing fine. He was there for 6 months.
Oh.
His own case was different, so he had to stay longer. He was there for 6 months, and I hear now that he's doing fine. All these things they are, like I told you, they are sickness of the mind.
What's the name of the rehabilitation? Maybe he can also reach
Adicare Rehabilitation Center.
Adicare.
Yeah.
So it's like ADDI.
ADI then care.
Okay, ADICARE. So dear caller, please, you heard the rehabilitation center. So yeah, you can reach out to them, or even my guest for today, you can always reach out to her on social media. She has made this a mission of hope. She's not just an artist, a gospel artist, a songwriter. She's now somebody who speaks the message of hope and help other addicts, come out of it. So yeah, so you can reach out to her on social media at Isioma Mercy Charles. Let's take another caller. Hello. Hello. Hi. All right, the number to call to be a part of this conversation. We're on the last few minutes to end the show. So if you have something to say, please do us a call right now and be a part of the conversation. Call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. What are you addicted to, and how can we survive from it? Okay, I have another caller. Let's quickly take it. Hello. Hello? All right, I can't seem to hear you. So, now we've realized, some of us know what we're addicted to.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't want to own up to it,
Mm-hmm.
but when you are faced with life decisions, you have to own up to what you're addicted and say, oh, see, actually need help. I can't stop this. I'm addicted to this. So when after discovering that, oh, I'm addicted to this, what can I do? Let's take this caller before we take that. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
hi.
Hello?
Okay, hi.
Please, I want to ask a question. Is it something that person can inherit from parents or something like that?
Is it what? Okay,
All
right, thank you. What did you hear him?
Yeah, he said, can it be is it
Inherited,
hereditary? Hereditary.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Wow, really?
Yes, it is. I got to find out in the rehab that it could be inherited from your parents.
Wow.
And guess what? Because this is deep waters. My mom used to take tobacco. You understand? So it can be inherited from your parents.
So once it's in your blood and you're exposed to it, you are more drawn to it.
People grow up watching their father smoke, and you expect those child not to smoke. You understand? They say charity begins from home. You pick up one or two attitudes from your parents. You know? Some people watch their drunk father. You know? Some people are addicted to violence.
Wow.
You understand? Some people.
That's a key one. That's a really key one.
Like the rehabilitation center I came out from, the lady was once addicted to salt.
Salt.
Eating salt. There are so many things that people are addicted to. It's just looking. It's just so deep. It's deep. Addiction is deep.
All right. Whether it is hereditary, whether you got it from your parents, or whether you watched somebody, or whether it was friends that brought it to you, or whether it's you that just said you wanted to try it by yourself, or whether you are depressed, or whatever it is, the important thing is that you know that you are addicted. So once you know you are addicted, what's the first solution? Because it feels awkward, like me just walking into a rehabilitation care and not telling them, please, I need help. Or is that what should I do first?
Number one, discover the problem. We've already discovered the problem. Okay, now I am an addict. The next thing to do is to look for help. Look for somebody that can help you, because if you think you can do it, I tried so many times to quit on my own, but it didn't work. This is the first time I'm staying a month and 3 months without drugs.
Wow.
You understand? So a year and 3 months without drugs, you know. And you have to look for help. Look for somebody that can help you. It takes a village. Like my church is helping me, you know. It takes a whole village. And when you come out from the rehabilitation, if you're lucky enough to go to one and you come out from it, you have to leave that environment where you used to be, move to a different place. You need to avoid anything that gives you trigger. Like this man said, he is addicted to sex. Drop your phone somewhere for a while, or use a touchlight phone that will not give you access to porn. You know, look for something that takes your mind away from it. You understand? You have to look for help, seek for help. Heaven helps those who help themselves. You have to be in a position where you want to be helped before people can help you.
So what if I don't have I know you say want to be helped. What if I don't have the resources? Let's say I go to a rehabilitation center now. They are not for free now. They're for free.
They are very expensive.
Exactly. So if I don't have the money and I go there, they tell me, oh, for me to get rehabilitation, bring 500,000, bring 2 million, and I don't have that. What should I do?
See, for now, but I will drop my Instagram. Anybody who really needs help, because I would sit with you, I would talk to you. If I know you need help and you want to stop, I know people who want to quit drugs. I've met a lot of them, and you want to quit drugs. I have people who would want to help you quit drug right now. I cannot help everybody, but the little I can help, it is what I am doing now. I have people who would want to help those who, if you know you want to stop drugs and you don't ready, you not be the one who be say you want still they do.
Yeah, you want they do one in one out. I don't mean they go do today they go say I'm off. Oh, next tomorrow they go come back again. That one you're not ready yet,
If you know you are ready and you want to quit, I would look for a way to help. You understand? I will speak to my pastor, my church, you know, and the advocate, and they will come up with a plan for you to help you. But you have to be sure you want to come out from it first.
You have to even be humble. Some people know their problem, but that say make they go meet people, say make somebody they help them.
They know they like them.
Until God forbid your enemy go punch. Abi how they go do am?
Of course now.
Yes, now because
drug kills now.
Yes.
Especially the Colorado way people they take now. You know the sweet thing they do person. It drives you insane. And it kills.
Interesting. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and so far we've been talking about drug addiction or addiction. Why are drugs so hard to quit? So far we've touched on addiction and how you can actually work out of it. The first thing is by deciding that you don't want to be a part of it and all. But how can we prepare for it? Like, what should I expect? Let's say I get into rehabilitation now and all that. What should I expect?
Expect to be broken. You will be broken for that first month. Is the toughest time because you will go through what they call the toughest moments of your life, withdrawal syndromes. Oh my god, just expect that, but you know that at the end of the day you come out with something good.
Come out top.
You come out top.
Very well said, Isioma Mercy Charles. Thank you so much. You're always singing, but thankfully today you're here to talk. And not just about your career, but about your life. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
To the people who have listened, who want to reach out to you codedly or anonymously, please, how can they reach out to you or find you?
Just follow me on Instagram. Find me on Instagram. Isioma Mercy Charles. No underscore, nothing. Just Isioma Mercy Charles on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Right, today I enjoying you. Don't be shy. If you know you have a problem, reach out, get help before the thing kills you. So you kill the thing before the thing actually kills you. Thank you so much for being on the show. So my callers and listeners, thank you so much for being a part of the show, for asking questions. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Please do also follow Deep Waters _podcast on IG, on Instagram, and of course on Facebook, Deep Waters. And we're always sharing great content for you, deep, meaningful conversations. It's always an open place for us to have quality conversation. If you have questions and thoughts, feel free to reach us on Deep Waters _podcast. And if you have addiction problems, or you just need to ask questions, or you just need clarity, reach out to Isioma Mercy Charles on IG. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday at exactly 4:30 p.m. For myself and Isioma.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Every day I dey play make I go far.